To the Mix, your Adelaide Hills sports show. I'm Jeff Pistola, joined by Mark Stokes to look at news, reviews and views on Adelaide Hills sports. Stoker, how are you?
Yeah, good, Jeff, and yourself? Busy week in football and sports in general around the place.
And I must say how fantastic it is here to be
Mix Central.
That's
it. Got the backdrop behind us.
A fantastic job here.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's all official, so we won't get bothered by someone mowing the lawn.
Yeah, we're taking the dog.
Taking the dog or treading in dog or whatever in the garden there. So, yeah, here we are in Mix Central. So, so we'll have a look around. As you said, some things that have been happening in the world of sport. We might start off with something very interesting.
Yes.
Firstly, one of our own.
Yes.
Sean Tate. Well, ANH, Sean Tate. I've been watching the last couple of weeks because he's the bowling coach over in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, Stoker, have won a historic home series of whitewash, 2-0 over Pakistan. The first whitewash win over Pakistan, home soil, and soon, of course, developing a lot of young pacemen. Of course, young Rana, Islam, and Ahmed are a few of them. So they're actually turning away from their previous emphasis on spin with Murali and co. So well done to the Sloan.
Yeah, well done to Pakistan there. So interesting, beating Pakistan.
In Bangladesh,
Bangladesh beating Pakistan. So
yeah,
they're a bit. Is there no bookmaking thing going on there? We hope not, but no, fantastic effort.
Well, I'll tell you what, coming up in the mixing bowl might be a bit of a question. We can relate to that a bit later on. But just get your thoughts on Test cricket, how it's travelling at the moment. Anyway, now, a bit of world news here. Now, is cycling a affluent or effluent sport, Stoker? Because at the moment, the Giro d'Italia is on, but in the build-up to it, several cyclists fell ill after a previous warm-up race in Belgium with cow manure on the road, suspected to be the cause, Mark. 3 riders suffered abdominal pain, diarrhoea, fever and vomiting and were hospitalised. Because the race is on now, but they worked out they're not feeling well, but they reckon there was a bit of cow manure spread onto the cobbles on the road, come up on the wheels and somehow got in their system, whether they inhaled it or... I don't know.
It's just
so that's a bit interesting news. It's a true story. Is this? So here on the Mix, we wouldn't lead you astray. So there you are. But also on that same subject, there's been because the actual tour is on now, goes till May 31st. The Giro d'Italia, which of course is a warm up for the Tour de France. But the governing body has issued a statement from the UCI. About race organisers, also riders not urinating in bottles and discarding them, Stoker, because the call of nature comes, and they've asked to respect the image of cycling, inform all riders that urinating into a bottle and subsequently discarding it is strictly prohibited. It's been confirmed that the riders responsible for the
how do they dispose of it?
Well, I suppose you just go...
give it to your support car.
Well, I mean, they're a bit worried, and also... If you remember the 2 Down Under where they actually drink them and throw them, so there might be people who go and collect them. They love their bit of memorabilia, and it's full of what. So interesting there. So persistent rule breaking could lead to more serious penalties as time deductions, point deductions, or even disqualification. So the officials have said here they're not taking the piss. It's going to actually happen. So there you are, a bit of cycling news. Now I know you love your tennis. World number 2 tennis star Carlos Alcaraz has withdrawn from Wimbledon as he continues to recover from a wrist injury, which he also missed the French Open. So, last it confirmed he would sit out at Roland Garros, famous stadium. Roland Garros, you know the history of that?
No, who's it named after?
Not a tennis player, like most venues are. It's actually named after a French aviator. World War I, so there you are, a bit of history. See, everything happens here in the Mix. It's educational. So he will be sidelined for the grass court season, which also means Wimbledon. So it could be our man Yannick Sinner, who he lost last year's Wimbledon final to. So he'd be looking pretty much the goods unless Novak can do something.
Unless Novak can get his act together.
I know you love your football and you love things that go wrong on the football field, particularly sometimes. Now, Adelaide Crows have been forced to make a public apology after an X-rated message was written on the football. Following the showdown, it was time from the footies in the crowd, or Handham, and Joshua Shelley kicked one that Sharon landed in the stand Adelaide Oval after Crows' roller coaster 1-point win in the hands of a 9-year-old girl. But on it there was football was signed Rash, kiss, 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 and the message of F the power. was on the ball.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know. We're not saying that Josh Michelle wrote it, but yeah. So and a man marked the ball. A 69-year-old man. He gave it to his 9-year-old granddaughter. He concealed the message by rewriting the text with a B instead of an F.
Yeah, okay.
So there's been a little bit of an uproar about that. So yeah, just be careful what you write on the footy when you.
Shelley's been in there. Yeah, he's a bit of
a serial. Yeah, hasn't he, with the teeth and the power?
He
seems to rub them up the wrong way.
Likes getting into the power for sure.
So there we go. So that's a little bit of sports news as we like to keep not only in the hills but in the world scene up to date for our mixers.
That's it. Do you want to mention about the Pendlebury game just before world news in it? What's happening?
Oh, world news, yes. What do you think? I know they're trying to drum up the West Coast Eagles, saying where they've been used as scapegoats here in such a big game. I think they've been a bit disrespectful to Collingwood, also to the great man, Scott Pendlebury. They played that amount of games. It's fantastic. And obviously he's been a modified program, and he could, it's a bit hard for a 38-year-old to come up in 5 days. And
just on the modified program bit, all teams do it.
Of course they do.
Because the milestones linked to it, it gets emphasised a bit more.
It does.
That's my opinion. Because like last year, Walker has managed, Pendlebury was managed as well.
Of course.
So, but no one batted an eyelid then, but now they do.
I do think perhaps maybe, just my personal opinion, but maybe the gold number and stuff, maybe that's going a bit above board. But I suppose it is a special achievement. We'll never see it in our lifetime, or if it does happen, it'll be many, many years.
It's just the benchmark, though, for the future of what milestone games could look like. Collingwood have, showing what you can do for your champion players.
And absolutely, they wanted it as a home game. You can realise that. And a couple of recent games have been against oppositions at the MCG. So,
because he was injured early.
He was injured early.
So Hawthorn was probably earmarked as that game,
right,
that milestone game. So it just happened to
whatever you think about Scott Pendlebury, not necessarily being a Collingwood supporter, but he's been an ornament to the game, and good on him, 433.
Yeah.
So, and I see he's intimated he might want to play on next year. So, could he get the 450, which is unheard of?
Yes, if he gets the 450.
I remember back in the days when Kevin Bartlett made the 400. Wow. And now it's been surpassed.
I think the next in line is probably Dangerfield. I think he's on nearly close to 400. So, he could probably catch him if Pendlebury does retire this year. And outside of that, I think it's Lachie Neale.
Yeah, well, interesting thing about Pendles is Mick Muldown said a lot of people remember in his second year he broke his leg actually.
Yes,
so he missed the season. He could be a lot more games. But Mick Muldown said he was always going to be a champ. Could have been a champion in basketball.
Yeah, so that's it. Just a quick one on it to finish it.
Yep.
Is he the best of all time? Collingwood player.
Oh well, they talk about the great Bobby Rose, of course. Des Tudden. We had some great footballers at the time. We also Peter Dacos. That could be a good topic for discussion when you want about 3 or 4 hours to kill, because they're all champions at Collingwood, so to pick one that's outstanding. But he'd be right up there, Andy Pendles.
That's it. All right, we'll get into the local league. So only 2 games played last week.
Yeah, the split.
You had the Call of the Wild game there. So Harndorf defeated Nambremma 16-10 to 13-11. Harndorf obviously dominated the first 3 quarters, surviving a late charge by the Rams. They're ending up 17-point victors. Key for the Harndorf, Riley Cramp come back, kick 4.
Yeah, he got better as the game unfolded, Stoker, because obviously first game back after ACL, the confidence comes, and he was looking pretty good towards the end. But also Jared Lyons, the AFL recruit, he was very good midfield, and Harndorf looked very good. Unfortunately, I think they've lost Xavier Parker Bowles to a ankle injury.
Is that a season ending?
Could well be. Didn't good Nick, unfortunately, but from the majority of the season, when he gets back to finals, as I said, I haven't got the information how bad it is. Yeah. But look very good. And as you said, Nan sluggish out of the blocks, come home with a very wet sail. But just couldn't peg it back, and they were 51 points down at 3/4 time. Yeah, always a hard I suppose. Yeah, so zip 5 for the or 0-5.
0-5, yes.
So
knock, who's there?
Yeah, so plenty of work to do. I wouldn't write them off just yet, but perhaps they're running out of chances to get catch-up football is always a hard thing to do.
Yep. Llewellyn was up forward there, kick 4, and then they shifted Brock Knight
in
the last quarter. A bit of more target to kick 3.
Yeah, so whether that's a ploy that going forward, Foster uses going forward, but then obviously missing Big Sheets betting as well, was the other ruckman or other big man. So
and Connolly.
Yeah, Archie Connolly was back. He's had hamstring
few out.
issues, so he was back. So, and Drew, he's been a bit down on his input as far as goals go this season, both him and Archer. So, yeah, still work in progress. I know they're the defending premiers. Maybe they want a good challenge, so they've certainly set themselves up for one.
Yeah. So just on before we go to the next game, so Clint, they've kicked 7 goals in the last quarter. If that quarter goes on for another 5 minutes, they probably overrun Harndorf. You've seen Harndorf twice now. At Loberthal.
Yeah.
Their last quarters have been overrun.
Yeah, well, it's a mental thing. Maybe it's the old style Carlton had. Not saying they should replace Peter.
No,
what I'm saying, mate, is to get in that thing, you get into comfort zone, and you're quite right about Harndorf with fitness sort of thing, some of the older bodies on a couple of bigger grounds. But if you've done enough and, early in the three quarters, so I'm sure Damon Stevens, their coach, will be sort of looking at that, the last 2 weeks' performances. They got out of jar, well, they won one, but you always thought they had control of that game.
Yeah,
Saturday,
they did.
Where the week before, they could possibly have beaten Lobe. Anyway, so
we'll go into the next game at the Cabbage Patch. Your 23 goals 4 to 10 goals 7. So a big win there to the Radler boys.
Yeah, well, these guys have always had some close battles apart from last year's qualifying final. Preliminary final. Less than a goal in recent times, and like I thought, your Radler on their own dunghill would be hard to beat, but Lobe might get over the line. But not the win didn't surprise me the margin, because they've absolutely skittled them and getting 3 goals after half time, 3 goals to 14 or something. So absolute. They've run amok the Demons.
Loberthal did kick back there in the second quarter, so obviously delivered a message.
Well, that's right. Because you wouldn't win them. But Mitchie Carter got up and running in that second term, gave them something to aim for. And as you said, they rattled on 6 goals to 3 and sort of got back in the game. Only a couple of straight kicks in it, but then Carter got injured, unfortunately, and sort of lost their firepower and target. So, so one Loberthal would probably mark down as one that got away. And for the Demons, well, their form's been a bit up and down, but having a good win over last year's
confidence going
would be there. And Kluvenek's always good. My camp back in form, which was good to see.
They kicked 11 between them with Richards.
Of course, they had the pump back, Richards, because that's all based around Santfor availability. So when he's in the side, it sort of gives them another bit of firepower. So, well done, Demons.
Yeah, Radler, just a bit of JJ stats here. So 40 disposals more, 45 uncontested more, and 17 more marks. So is it a case of no Dixon, no Loberthal?
Oh, no, look, they've got used to playing a majority, half the season without him, I'd suggest, if he's only the home game, But also Lewis Johnson didn't play, and they got Alex Giorgio to come back in, Pete Bamp, and so the Tigers are in.
So they've got a lot of key there coming in.
But for your Radler, it was good to see Adam Trenorden back. He's a very good footballer. And Lockie Schultz, the young big man, playing some good footy, and son of Runt, Troy Watke, very good in defence. So, well done.
Trenorden, 37 touches as well, so get plenty of it.
Yeah.
I'll just go a quick look at the ladder there. So Onka Valley on top with 8 points, Blackwood with 8, Radler with 6. Bit of a logjam here from 3rd down to 6. Loberthal, Harndorf 5th, then Mount Lofty 6th, then Nambremmer, then Mount Barker. So obviously percentages is the difference there between 3rd and obviously Mount Lofty play Mount Barker this week, so that could probably help with their percentage. But we'll get into this week's game. So Onka's take on Blackwood, who would have thought?
As we were talking about off air, Call the Wild coverage when we did them last year, about 4 rounds to go. It was a battle for the spoon. And here we are, start of a new season. They're both playing off the top spot, only separated by percentage. So this has got although 10% difference in favour of Onkas. But this is an absolute cracker. Both sides, the improvement they've made is certainly there. From 7th to 8th to 1 and 2 at this stage. Looking forward to good conditions out there at Johnston Park. So it should be a ring-a-ding-ding.
Should be a good game there. I'll probably take the home side just.
Well, you're going to
1 to 10.
No, I think it'd be a bit more than 1 to 10. But I think Onkas are just a little bit. They've started well, and not saying Blackwood haven't got a chance, but I just think Onkas on their home turf.
The next game, 2 mountain sides. Mount Barker taking on Mount Lofty at Howard Lane.
This could be a rematch of the. Was this a rematch of the 1986 grand finalists?
Yes, a long time ago that one.
Look, Lofty probably a little bit disappointing. I think they've lost the last two, which after 2 or 3 rounds are sitting on top.
Yeah.
And, but now they find themselves, as you said, down the 6th spot. Worst percentage out of the top 6, so they've actually an extra game out on percentage. So whether this is an opportunity to get them up and running.
Yep.
How Mount Barker, well, let's face it, we all know it's going to be struggle street for them with the massive players that they've lost.
Yep.
Perhaps you can ask our special
Brett Baldey will be coming in.
Stoking it up, which is a very well-watched segment a bit later on. What's the mentality to build for the rest of the season? Well, they're not incapable of an upset here, and that's not doing any discredit to Mount Lofty. They're probably not as playing as well as they should, but they will. This is a big opportunity to get back on the winners list.
Yeah.
But, Mount Barker at home for the originally named, what is it, Mountain Cup? Or
Yes. There was a cup name for it back in the day.
Yeah. So I think you have to go for the Devils. Well, Devils.
Yeah, Devils for me as well. Next game, another cracking for Nan anyway.
Yeah.
Nan v Loberthal. So can Nan afford to drop this one?
Well, they probably said that 3 weeks ago. Facing Zip 6. But, the Tigers, we just talked about them just a minute ago. Obviously, I think they will have a stronger side back, a few guys back from injuries. Also having had the, Charlie's obviously
he'll be available.
George Addy's blokes, so I think they'll be better for this week. Well, what Nan have to do, as you said, play that like they did last week.
Yep.
But bearing in mind they weren't allowed to play like that the first 3 quarters, I've got to give credit to Arndorf there. So Tigers bring that sort of mentality as well. So both coming off losses. I think the Tigers might be just a little bit. They're starting to get towards the end of the line as far as how they've got to start winning now if they want to make a top 3.
Can they get into the 5 with this kind of start? Is it too far back? You have to say they have to win majority of their games.
I'd say the next
second half.
The next 2 bits of this round will be vital. If they get to the end of the first half of the season and being Zip 7, you're in a bit of strife. So
they've got Mount Barker to come.
That's right. But who knows with that? I mean, that would be Titanic stuff. But anyway, as you said for Saturday, Nan got to play that as they finished last week's game. But I just think Tigers at home too strong. Package will certainly have them fired up.
Oh, I'm sure Package wouldn't be happy with the result last week, and he'll come out roaring. The next game, another blockbuster at Pine Avenue. Harndorf take on the Adelaide Demons.
Well, can you remember what you were doing 10 years ago? 2016? No?
Not the grand final, was it?
No, I can tell you it's 10 years since Urada have beaten Harndorf at Pine Avenue. 10 years ago.
Wow.
That was in their run of flags. They won their flag that year, of course, but they did lose to, and that was the last time the Demons have tasted success at the Nest. So a long time between drinks. No better time to break it. They'll come in pretty confident, as you said, after that win over Loberthal. Harndorf going along nicely. So this got the makings of a good game. But and the Magpies at home, they did impress me about how much I miss Parker Byers. Clamp will be better for the run. Lynn's in good form. Also, Michael Hobbs, their other good recruit from Port Perry Way. He plays some very good football. Matty Yance, he was back just assisting their defence there. So
he's pretty vocal there.
It's going to be a good clash. Adam Chinor, he'd probably like to
get one back
against his old side.
Well, Cooper Nykamp was
Cooper Nykamp, a couple of ex-pies there. And so this game is full of a bit of intrigue.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if Urada can do it, but they've got to break a 10-year cycle to do that. But records are made to be broken. So tell you what, I might, just for the interest in the stir everyone up, I might go for the Demons 1 to 10 maybe. And once again, it depends if Richards plays.
So that was my next comment there was going to be if Richards plays, I'd probably just go for the Demons. So we'll see how Harndorf ran out the last quarter this week. So if it's down a bit, the Demons, they'll probably be pretty confident they can come down.
We've given them
come over the top of them.
Coach Stevens will probably use this as a motivational vision before the game.
Yeah, well, they could also use your comment. The Demons haven't won there for 10 years, so
that's
I'm
right.
sure the coach probably could use that. Division 2, get into that. So Kangarilla, local derby here, defeated Meadows 14-10, 10-9. Couple of milestones there. Obviously, their 125-year reunion. So they played in front of their B grade 96 side, and then the 2006, and Rod Mitchell,
yeah,
200 games.
Yeah, not all, obviously not all of Kangas, but his
yeah.
200 A grade coaching stint. So well done to him. Look, good game, locked together at 6-4 apiece at half time, as we expect these two great rivals. But then Kangi just a bit more steady in the end, and yeah, look, Meadows certainly shown they're out there very competitive.
Yep.
But Kangi having a good win at home.
Yeah, so 13 points up at three-quarter time, and then the margin 25. Couple of players there I just mentioned to you. So Jaden Scott kicked 5, Collie kicked 3. Michael Ross, yep.
Actually, just on that point, sorry, we hark back about Zip 5 for a start for the reigning premier. Michael Ross, part of Victor Harbour's premiership last year. They are Zip 6.
Yeah, okay.
So it just shows you the reigning premiers as the hangover. I don't know.
Yep. Meadows, pretty buoyed about young promising player, Pride from basketball. Ruckman.
Yes,
so
yes.
Six game from
he's quite good.
Yeah, good lead.
Yeah, and because Lukey Smart, the mould, Kev Thomas, best and first medal winner, he's going very well. Kane Croydon.
Yeah.
As I said, Braden Willis, the former Nan boy, and of course the Falcon, Braden Messina. So, Chaplain, not too bad, Meadows at the moment.
Yep. The next game, Bridgewater took on Torrens Valley. So, 23-17, 185 to 6 goals, 743. Yeah, big win there to the Raiders. So
I think the second quarter there when they kicked 10 goals to 1, which put them away. Alex Forster, the former AFL listed Freo Docker, who's very good. Nick Denham up forward. Something to aim for. So and a young bloke, young Ruckman played pretty well. Young Murray. Because of big D Rob and James didn't play, Brad James, so he took over the ruck jobs and did a very good job. So
Tom Jonas made an appearance.
Tommy Jonas, and also how's this Stoker? He's at half time. He's wandered across because they had a bit of a reunion. Talk about premiership sides. The 2016 Raiders flag. They're all down the Green Shed, or as it's known now, the Fraser Family Bar area.
Yep.
And Tommy wandered over there at half time and was interviewed by President Dylan Wallace. Obviously, he didn't want to listen to Jay Spodes in the coach. I'll go over and just talk here. But no, it was a good crowd down there. Life member stays in the ring. So Tommy, good cameo, got a few touches and everything. So
there's another prize recruit at the Raiders, Brett Costola.
Oh yes, Brett, much travelled Brett Costola in recent years. So
he got the clearance from Mount Lofty. They allowed
him to take
a 2-hour meeting with the side.
No, it was actually Nan.
Nan prior.
Kalgoorlie, Tintinda, you name it. He's travelled everywhere. But he enjoyed playing for the Raiders. And as you said, playing a half forward's a bit difficult, and that over it goes over the head. Why not when you've got two big forwards kicking 18 between them? So,
that's it. Was the decoy.
The decoy, the dummy.
No, all good, Brett. Next game, another local derby. Birdwood took on Gumbaraka. So Birdwood 17-20. Gumbaraka 2 goals too. So
Birdwood now won 3 in a row. Stoker, including the scalp of Kersbrook, the competition leader. So look, they're always in. I think half time told the story 9-13 to 1 point. If they'd kicked straight, it would have been well and truly over them. Not that it wasn't, but as you said, 17-20. If they'd kicked straight, it would have been a bigger margin. But the Magpies batting on manfully and. But they'll be eyeing the game in a couple of weeks where they might actually get a win. So
big fault of grace there, isn't it, for the Magpies? Three flags in a row.
3 in a row. And then last year they did make the elimination final.
Yes.
Once again, losing players and does knock you around.
Yep. Sam Green, he played 250 games for Birdwood.
Yeah,
so
well done.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
And
Brett Ansell in good touch.
Yes, 4 goals for him. And then
unfortunately, I think they've lost one of their star recruits. They got back to the club with a knee injury. Might be in doubt for the rest of the year, which would be a bit of a downer for them. But Roosters going pretty well.
Yep. The last game that Kersbrook took on Echunga. At Kersbrook, 17-13, 115. Echunga 7 goals, 10, 52. Bit disappointing, Echunga.
Yeah, well, we saw in the week before in the quarter while, but they've got injuries at the wrong time and some key players, and some guys who are playing are carrying injury, which is unfortunate, beside the ones they've lost. But Kersbrook are always going to win this, I think, because big man Matt Gardner, 300th game for the A-grade game for the club. Yep. Also, when you think he played about 160 seniors and junior games combined for Onkers, so he's right. He's in Pendlebury figures.
Yeah, okay.
So he was a great incentive. The current captain, multiple best and fairest, multiple premiership player. So the Brookers just bouncing back from their loss to Birdwood.
Yes.
And Chunga, as I said, just perhaps slipping off the bus at the moment. When you look, they're down in sixth spot, seventh spot, with a bit of a freight train there. So perhaps mid-season, they'll be hoping to get a few more players, get their best side back if they can.
So a couple of key performers there. Inglis kicked 7.
Yeah,
he's Catfish did the job on Turner.
That's right. Yeah, the Catfish and
for the Demons, Liam Place, obviously best.
Game. There's one who's carrying injury. We saw him the week before. He definitely hobbled. So young Vergara.
Yes, Onka Valley.
Come across Monkers. Good to see him playing. Senior football and doing well. Will Wanning, another young bloke, and young Scarf from Mount Lofty, and the big fella Megan. So he tried pretty hard too. But
Go to the ladder. Kersbrook on top, Macclesfield second, Birdwood on third, Kangarilla fourth, Meadows in there in fifth, Bridgewater sixth, Chunga dropped down to seventh now, and Gumaraka and Torrens Valley round out the last 2 spots. Get into the next round for them. So Birdwood take on Macclesfield at Rooster Park.
It's going to be a good game out there at the Velodrome because Blood's coming off the bye, so they'll be refreshed. They were pretty good the way they disposed of Chunga, bearing in mind they'd lost the week before Mackie, so they had a very good reply to that. A ground that's given them a little bit of difficulty, even though they won out there last year, obviously, on their premiership campaign. So big test for the Roosters. As I said, they're looking for 4 in a row. No bigger test at the moment than to beat the Bloods. But I just think the Bloods in pretty good form. Emery, Carter, he goes through every line.
Yeah, Dakin, they're up.
Yeah, Dakin when if Gibbos doesn't play, Tony Gibson, so Dakin's playing very well. Good to see him added to the interleague squad, which we'll mention in a minute. So I think the Bloods would go in more as favourites for this.
Yeah, I'll take after interviewing Johnny Fitz the other week. I'll go the Bloods there. So I've vested interest in that. Bridgewater take on Kersbrook, so this will be a clash of the double blues as well. So big game for Bridgewater.
Yeah, down in the Cops Creek Plateau. So last week, the last couple of weeks has probably been good for the club. Get a couple of wins on the board against 2 bottom sides. Now it comes to a bit of reality. They take on the leader, as we said, they had a good win last week. So a big test if Bridgie can put their best side on the park because they're not always available. They will bottle it up, but as I said, you can kick goals straight out of centre down there. So I just think you'd have to go for Kersbrook just on the relative positions. But Bridgie will give it a crack, and who knows?
I think Kersbrook.
Brookers favourites.
Brookers should start favourites. So I think they'll get the job done there at Bridgewater. But we'll see. Next game will be Torrens Valley at home, take on Kangarilla. So big trip for the Kangarilla boys. Yeah,
we had the fry pan into the fire each week for the poor old Lions. I appreciate that. Having a home game, but you'd have to think, as we just talked about Kangarilla, they're just starting to gel nicely, and I think they'll have a pretty comfortable win out there at Mount Torrens.
I think Kangarilla will get the job done. Last game there, another cracking game. This will be local rivals again. Chunga take on Meadows at
another big Southern Derby. Chunga, as I said, will need their premium selection. Meadows go along confidently.
Put a gap here between fifth for a Chunga.
That's right, absolutely. But I just think Meadows, I think they're the more settled side. The Chunga, once again, selection will play a part. But I think Meadows will get the win on the real enemy territory there at D Park.
I'll go for Meadows too, just with those injuries, concerns that a Chunga have. They should get the chockies there. I'm sure Georgie Dorr will have them fired up.
Well, a couple of sides they like beating it because they're a local derby sort of situation. One was Kangaroo, they just fell short. So George will be looked after this week to play a whole game out, not just a half, and beat the Chunga. So,
All right, we'll take a quick break.
Before we go, we just mentioned the HFL RMFL has been announced will be at Mannum on Saturday, June the 6th, on the big ground up there at Mannum. Free entry too, Stoker.
Yes, that's a good initiative.
It is. I don't know how through Community Football League they bankroll. I don't know.
We're not sure.
Free entry
for Travis to answer that one, or unless that's through the Murray Bridge League.
It's their home game.
It's their home game.
But
charged last year.
Yes, they did.
Alhannah?
I don't know.
Did they give their money back after performance?
I'd have known like you and just jumped the fence.
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
No,
Yeah, okay.
I think they're good shows, mate.
Yeah.
But as you said, and of course, of that performance last year, when it was very disappointing on a wet, soggy day. Matty Thomas, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, has come in as coach, and he's actually named a 35-man squad, and he's both divisions represented. And guys don't get to make the final cut, just their experience of training with some of the better footballers in Div 1.
Training last night, I think, Wednesday night.
Yes, they did, out at the Chunga, I think. So I think our man Goldie was out there.
Yep, Roman Goldie.
So, and what I mentioned, talking about rep footy, well done to, we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, 300 goals for Sturt. Well, Joshy Hone friend up for about his third game for the Sandford last week against the Waffle over in Perth. And also Zoe Venning from Blackwood, who's, of course, plays for Westies. And Georgia King from Harndorf, who's a Sturt-listed girl. They were in the SNFL W team, which played the Waffle W team. But unfortunately, for both genders, wasn't a successful day. But anyway.
Yep. No, congratulations to Joshy. That's another feather in his cap to his SNFL career.
I think when he sits down after he's done and dusted downtown, he will look back and say, "Oh, I had a pretty reasonable career," which he has. So.
Yeah, he has. Yep. Yeah. All right, we'll have a quick break and we'll come back after this message. Welcome back to the mix. We'll get into the netball component of the show. So we'll start off with Mid Hills netball. So last week, Nan Districts 55 took on Littlehampton 46. So Nan still unbeaten run there. Tough contest.
Led to believe Stoke, it was a very good game. Actually, scores are only a goal apart. Right, the first three changes, and then Nan just getting away from the Lightning in the last turn to 9-goal wins. But good game of netball.
Yep, pulled away there. Matty Yench, Horsnell, and Harrowfield were sort of key performers for the Nan side, and Littlehampton, Emily Thompson and Wigsell.
Layla Wigsell from Ironbank player.
Ironbank player. So they performed there. So. We'll get into the Harndorf game. So Harndorf 41 defeated Mount Barker Lutheran 32. So Pies are going pretty well as well.
The other undefeated team sitting on top. Percentage-wise over Nan. So a couple of weeks' time when they meet, that'll be a cracker.
Yep. So Lutheran, good effort by them. So they've been sort of struggling a bit early. So they'll probably get better as the season goes on. So, but next game is Mount Barker United 49. Defeated Chunga just, so the new team coming up from A2s there. Only went down.
So the two promoted teams over the last 2 years, if I'm right.
Yes,
and, well done United. Win for the season. They didn't salute the judge at all last year. So
United going to the top 4 now. So
well done to them.
Yep. So Talia Walker, Carla Walker, sister. So she had a great game there.
Versatile sports.
Harndorf
football.
Yep.
As well. So.
And Riley Verre, she's ex-Harndorf player, so she's been in the goals there for great goal shooter, very accurate, so she had a great game as well. Next game, Loberthal took on Moyonka Paringa 52-40. So second quarter killed Onka, so it was pretty even there at quarter time, and then just Loberthal, and that was just the difference of the game. So after that, so it was 29-14 at half time. So and then Onka's credit, they did fight back. But
why is that, Stoker? Because unlike football, you do get the centre pass, so you have control of the ball. So they don't feed it well into attack, or they let down by the key forwards.
Both sides had a few turnovers there, so just Loberthal capitalised on the turnovers. And as you say, centre pass is crucial in netball. You've got the free pass to go forward after a goal, so they just didn't utilise that. But I think Onkers will get better as they go along. Emily Mudge for Loberthal, she was on fire shooting. I reckon she would have been up to around 90% accuracy. And Loberthal just too strong on this occasion.
So they've had the one win on the board, the girls of gold. Not panic stations yet?
Not yet. So
they need to have a good look at themselves? Or?
No, there's a couple of new girls in the side. So your goal shooter and mid-court, Evie there. So I think it's just going to take a little bit more time to get used to them. But competition's quite tight. Comp's quite tight. So I'll go into the ladder there. So Harndorf out on top, equal with Nan. Loberthal in third. Mount Barker United fourth. Onk Paringa in fifth. Littlehampton sixth. And Chunga seventh. And Mount Barker Lutheran. So if you look at that ladder there, it's quite tight. So it's only few rounds in, so need a few more games just to see how that stabilises out. But we'll get into the next round. It's at St Francis too. Indoor round. So
so you'll be going this week, would you?
What's that? Yeah.
You'll be going this week.
It's indoors. Yeah, it's indoors. So yeah, so
chilly for you.
I reckon it's a great concept playing indoors down at St Francis.
No wet courts.
No wet courts, no rain to deal with. So I did find that out.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So
up to the weather committee, isn't
in the weather committee there in the bylaws. So
see, we asked you to deliver here on the mix.
Yeah, so weather committee there. So, but it's not. To your question, can a team ask a question? Well, they can, but I think they will lose the points. So if they decided not to play, but that might be something they can.
Safety issues.
Update the bylaw. So in the Hills competition, it's up to the umpires because obviously they play at different venues. So that's probably the way it should probably be. Umpires' call, in my opinion.
I know you have a lot of pool and water netball. Perhaps you should.
No. In and round 4, Mount Barker Lutheran take on Loberthal. So obviously saw Loberthal first hand.
Can you be forced to play on the boards if they're too slippery? No, it's just...
we'll find out. Mount Barker Lutheran take on Loberthal. So I saw Loberthal first hand. I think they'll be too strong. Millie Mudge, she's going up there at goal attack, goal shooter. Tyler Krieger, a daughter of... Simon. So, she'll probably have the job on her. So if she can cut her influence there, that might give Lutheran a chance. But I'll stick with Loberthal. Now, Barker United and Littlehampton for the latter position suggest now Barker United. But
this will be another test for the young side.
Yeah.
But, as you said, 2 out of 3 so far, which is good effort. But
so
Littlehampton, once again, depends on their availability for them. But I think
being indoors, they might get everyone out playing.
Well, they might.
So I will say I'll go Littlehampton as well. Onkaparinga take on Chunga. Well, you'd probably expect Onkaparinga to win this based on...
this will be the Chunga's first win, promotion. We hope not.
Then it might be...
then it might be...
panic stations there. Yeah. But I should say Onkaparinga should get the job done there. The last game there should be a ring-ding, 2 top sides. Take on Harndorf, so 7:30.
7:30.
Time for you to, after the call of the wild,
head over. And we just said what would be a crack of a game when they meet. So here we are, top spot on the line.
Well, you would probably expect both football clubs to be there because that's normally what happens with those 2 clubs, especially Harndorf.
Well, Harndorf playing at home. Because Nan coming back from Loberthal. So
so it should be a big crowd there at St Francis at the 7:30 time slot.
So you're the resident expert. Who's going to win?
I'll go Nan based on being the top side. Harndorf are good, very young, so they'll only get better as the season gets on.
Premier,
so you can't
I agree with you.
Can't go against them. On to Hills netball. So Heathfield Stars 38 defeated Piccadilly, first win for the years for the Stars. So 19-10 at half time, 25-14 at 3/4 time. So, wrong score there, but Heathfield. Good result for them.
They'll be happy, as you said, similar to Harndorf. They've got a young side. Manny Braddock, the coach there, and she'll be probably happy with their development. They played Uraid the first game and sort of knocked them back a bit because Uraid is such a good quality unit. But the Stars will be pretty happy to get on the board.
Next game, Summertown took on Stirling 40-30. Tigers performed a really good performance there the 4 quarters. So.
The Comets back in A-grade, Stirling Comets, which have got several seasons. They had a win the other week, so they'll have been confident. Summertown Tigers, good win.
You're either the defending champs took on, well, not the defending champs, but 2 top sides of that competition, 49-35.
Yeah, they went into actually Ironbank went in on top of the ladder, I think, and Ironbank. You're either the defending premier, and Ironbank, similar to Mount Barker United, didn't have a very good season last year. They've started off very well, but they sort of got. As I just said to you, Uraid are definitely the measuring stick, so it was a good thing for Ironbank just to measure their improvement. And look, they were competitive in the end, 14 goals. It probably could have been more, so full credit to them.
Could be a preview of the grand final.
It could well be.
So looking at the ladder there now, so Uraid are on top, as mentioned, outright. Ironbank Cherry Gardens in second, Summertown 4th, Stirling Comets 4th, Heathfield and Piccadilly rounded out. So thoughts on that ladder? Still early days?
Yeah, I know, early days, only 3 rounds, but it's probably playing out how we thought it'd be. You're right, just the powerhouse that they are, just going along nicely. I said Ironbank an improved season so far. Good luck to them. Summertown, and also Stirling Comets in their first year got the win on the board. And unfortunately, the Panthers have been competitive. The Piccadilly girls just haven't got a win on the board yet, but you never know, it could be coming in the next round this Saturday. So.
That's it. So next round, round 5. So you're able to take on Stirling at the Adelaide courts there. So
be welcome to. This is what
netball.
You need in A-grade level for the Comets. So you're really easy there.
Yep. So Summertown take on Heathfield. So
this is a cracking game. It's close together on the
table.
On the table. So Summertown with 2 wins. Heathfield going for their second. Tigers at home always tough to beat over at Tregarthen Reserve. If they're playing there, I know they have their courts done up. They transferred their opening game, so whether this one's played there, but I still think maybe the Tigers. Yep,
Tigers. Right, Piccadilly take on Ironbank. So again, this might be another.
Ladder rankings at the moment suggest that Ironbank may will just get the 1 to 10. Or is
1 to 10?
Is that too much in netball?
No. Well, yeah.
Just for Ironbank.
1 to 5, maybe.
1 to 5. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. That wraps up the netball reports from both grades or competitions there. Award. Carolyn Dowling?
Oh, of course. Yes. How could we forget? As we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Nancy Moulds getting from the Hills Association. Well, of course, on the same night, Carolyn Downing, long time at Chunga and Mid Hills stalwart, being awarded Netball SA Life membership. So well done. Only 67 over the course of the history. It's only 5 handed out last month. So well done to Carolyn. What's she done, Stokey?
So some of her stats here. So she started at 11 years old playing, and then finished up at 33. Well, not finished up, just 13 seasons of A-grade competitive netball, part of 8 A-grade grand finals. So it's a pretty good strike rate in 13 years, playing in grand finals, but only won 3. So obviously good enough to get there. Coaching, also started at 18, so 32 years as Mid Hills rep coach, and 14 years as Mount Lofty Academy coach. So that's fantastic.
Developing young girls have come through the system, the A-grade, but also some have gone to town. So
32 years as a rep coach, that is a
very long
achievement.
Jock McCall's.
Yeah, that is. That is. Coached Chunga A-grade to a premiership in 95, career league team in 97, also umpiring.
Yeah, long term. I think she's 250 games.
257 games, 7 grand finals. Her highlight was doing the police game between South Australia and South Africa.
International.
International game there. So congratulations, Carolyn. That's a fantastic achievement and well deserved. And looks like each week I go, there's no sign of her slowing up. So
is that right?
She's always out there. So
one of those volunteers that everyone needs in the sport, and she's been an ornament to the game, to her club, and she loves the game. So well done to her on receiving that. And
just on an admin note for her, 19 years as a Chunga president.
Yes,
19 years.
And also, I believe that she's actually taken upon to create the history of the club.
Yep. Yes, she did.
Record all that, which I think it's been going for 80 years. So Carolyn spent a good amount of that time playing and being involved with the club. So well done to someone who's preserving the past for the future generations to look back on the history of the club. So well done on that.
And Mid Hills board since 1990. So as well. So
she might be the one to talk to about the weather rule.
I could ask her about that. So
you got pulled out.
Yeah. No worries.
I tell you what, you do have pull on. Has become one of the most watched segments here on the mix, is stoking it up. So what have we got coming up?
Yeah, it's big interview coming up with new Mountbarker coach Brett Baldey. So we'll ask him the hard questions, I suppose, player losses and how the season's going and what the future looks like for the Barker.
Is he under the pump?
I don't know. We'll find out after the interview.
No, not with the results. I mean, in a minute.
He will be under the pump.
Right. You'll be stoking it up. So
that's it.
Stay tuned here on the mix. We'll be back with that shortly.
No worries. All right, welcome back to the mix. Now for our special guest, Brett Baldey from the Mount Barker Football Club. Welcome to you, Brett. Nice to see you. Long time no see.
Thanks, Stokesy. Yeah, it's good to.
Roxby days.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes.
About 2014 since I was working in Roxby and coaching some footy up there. So yeah, it's good to see you.
Yep. No. Well, let's just get into it there. So obviously coach with Mount Barker this season. Big club in the Hills here. Take us on your coaching journey. Where did it start for you? And how'd you get into it? Stuff like that.
Yeah, so back in 2009, I was in Queensland playing on the Gold Coast in the QAFL. And unfortunately, injury got me. Had some osteitis pubis and was just struggling to get up and going. And at the time, Sean Hart was my senior coach. Yep. And then, Sean had sort of supported me and offered me an opportunity to come to the Gold Coast Suns when he was appointed as the senior assistant of the Gold Coast Suns when they first came into, initially back then it was the under-18 competition in the VFL and then the VFL senior program and then the AFL. And I was fortunate enough to start my journey as a coach and player support officer at the Gold Coast Suns back then.
Yeah, beautiful. So you progressed from there, North Adelaide?
I sort of moved back home at the end of 2010 back to Adelaide and then went to Roxby Downs.
Yes.
And took up a role there, obviously working in Roxby, but also coaching and doing some football management, looking after all the recruitment and also coaching game day of the Roxby Miners with Ricky Prosser and the team. And we're pretty successful through 3 flags in a row. Yep. We recruited quite well. And then when I returned home in 2014, started my coaching journey at the Co Footy Club 2015 and spent 4 years there between the reserves and senior side and the A grade. And then 2019 made my way to North Adelaide and I've had a role at North Adelaide in different capacities for the last few years. So it's been good.
No worries. And you have a bit of a role now, recruiting role?
So right now
evolved that, I suppose?
Yeah. So initially when I went in 2019, I was head of women's footy and game day operations of the women's program. And then that sort of led, once that finished in 2022, I took up a role with the Richmond Footy Club in the recruiting space. And then I stepped away from the women's program at North Adelaide to then support the men's program in the recruiting and just provide a little bit of advice and support to Daryl Wintour and the footy department at North Adelaide.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. So obviously we talked about Sean Hart there, so I'm sure he was an early influence on you. So is there anyone else?
Sean Hart clearly and still to this day provides unbelievable support and to me, and he was very influential. And as I've sort of gone through my football journey, there's a couple of people that have also been really touching to me. And Chrissy Steen's probably one for me, not a real common name in male football, but in the football circles, she's a really powerful person and coach. And we had some really successful times, but how she runs a program was really influential on my footy coaching for sure.
Yep. So obviously you've been in the system for a little bit of a while. So as your style evolved over the years, or a lot of game plans come and go, I suppose, so different levels that you've got to apply them to?
Yeah, I think so. Probably the biggest thing I have noticed from probably 2011, 12, 13 and coaching in the competition in the far north to where we are today is the big difference is it was a lot of contest and hustle and bustle back then.
Yep.
And you probably kept it really simple to now it's all about how can you nullify numbers and how can you add numbers around stoppage and gain an advantage. There's a little bit more thinking that goes into the game.
Yep.
Now I think it's less contested as well now. I think we try to utilise the athletes a lot more, the speed and the outside run and the ability to be better by foot and skills. And I think the programs that kids are coming through with these days, their skill elements are a lot better than what they used to be.
Yep.
So the ability to kick and handball, get yourself out of trouble and
Yeah, so if you get all the skills at a younger age, so then they're ready for this style of play, as you just mentioned there. Right, Mount Barker, how did you get there?
Yeah, with my work, I'm part of the long group, Diverse Civil, Factor UTB, and Pipeline Technology. And Jack Larez, which is a common name for the Mount Barker people, he's one of our project managers. And having a chat in the office just one day, and he sort of sounded me out, and one thing led to another, and then a week later I find myself having a coffee with Schutzy and Murph, and initially I thought the conversation was about how I could potentially support them in making some improvements and a bit of recruiting and a little bit of advice, and then it just led to further conversations, and then started talking about coaching and what it might look like in 2026.
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah. So what impressed you in that process, dealing with the Mount Barker Footy Club or attracting you?
Yeah, probably initially having conversations with Jack was probably the first point.
Yep.
Just his genuine care for the club and the concern of where it might be going, and what he would like to see happen, and in terms of probably having a voice for some past players and some of the older, more experienced players. That was probably the first thing that probably got me interested in having the conversation, just his genuine care, and then meeting with Schutzy and Murph, probably two people that are putting in a lot of time and effort. Ultimately, they care about the Mount Barker Footy Club, and that's probably what caught my interest.
There.
Yeah.
Obviously, didn't walk into a great scenario, so there's obviously challenges stepping into the role. Lost 10 A-grade players for the season, prior to the season starting, I'm saying. So, was that addressed while you were going through this process, or was that after? Yeah,
I think when I was going through the process, we were talking about the potential that this could happen, that there were some players being courted by some clubs in Victoria, and then also down in the southeast and some of those football leagues. And I think when clubs aren't going well, and people get wind of it, and there's some internal issues, I think you become an easy target. And I think in this case, that's what's happened. And I think there were only minor things, but essentially, a lot of our players got targeted, and unfortunately, we were in a position where we lost, I think, 6 of the top 10 of the BNF, which then probably led to another handful of players leaving, which wasn't ideal. But
so and that sort of probably to the next question there, like from round one there, I believe around 72% of the senior squad had left through the B grade as well. So that's pretty good research you got there. I think it was 29 or 31 players from round one were new players that didn't play A's or B's in the last games of 2025. So it's a huge turnover. It's definitely when you come in as a new coach. And probably for me, I'd seen my footy journey going down the path of recruitment, retention of players, player welfare, rather than coaching. So then to get my hands into coaching and then be facing this was like early days was a challenge. But you only got to come to the ground and come to training and then see that we got 35 players at training that are 21 or younger, and it quickly changes your mood. That's for sure. Yeah. So given the results, obviously not a great start, but I've watched a few of the games there, very competitive, get hands on the ball, just probably missing the guys up forward, as you probably mentioned there. So have you set any goals, and there any sense of continuity for you? You're on a 2-year deal, 3-year deal. So what's going on there?
Yeah, for me, I think that there was an option to do 2 and 3 years, but for me, it's just about a year by year proposition, and where the club's at and where I'm at. And one thing I won't do is I won't overstay my welcome. If there's someone better to coach the footy club, well then, that's all good. I'll support the club in making sure that transition. But while I'm in the position, I'll just give it my all and prioritise the things we need to prioritise for where the list is at. we've changed some of our goal setting. I think we prioritise different things. But for the immediate future, my priority is to make sure that the players 17 to 21 are playing A-grade footy, and we get them to 25, 35, 45 games as quick as possible.
Yep. So given the, as you mentioned, the amount of young players, debutants for the A-grade side, do you take it on yourself to have one-on-one conversations with these guys? Is it part of your coaching?
Yeah, it's something I would like to do more of. I think it's probably an area of improvement for myself. It's just been able to make, and it probably reflects some of my availability with work. I've got quite a busy job, but I do like to have those one-on-one conversations with players just to check in. But I think it is something that I'd really like to see improve on my behalf. Just with local football, it's time restraints. With work and all of that. But trying to communicate with players as often as possible.
Yep. Do you see this as, probably just touched on that before, it's a setback, an opportunity to reset the culture of the direction of the club? You mentioned the culture's good.
Yeah, we've just recently gone through, over the last couple of weeks, review with players, and I've sat down and had a meeting with each player and just seeing how they're tracking, a couple of positives from a player's perspective, both individual and team. And the number one thing that came up in every meeting was the fact that the players felt that the culture had improved tenfold. And I prioritise culture. Culture is number one for me. And I think probably on top of the players that have left to go to the Victorian leagues or the Southeast, we've also lost some players that just haven't been able to, or haven't met the standards in terms of from a culture perspective. And that's disappointing. But we will prioritise culture and making sure that it is right.
Yep. So you obviously mentioned your messaging. You've had one-on-one discussions. Is there any sort of other messages you've relayed onto the group with the amount of the player loss?
Yeah, I think probably you do a pre-season, and the pre-season goes for 3 months, and you probably want to make sure that you sell hope and optimism to both the players and the club. You want them to be up and about. You want to be energised, and I think when you have our first 3 or 4 rounds like we've had, you want to continue to keep a similar message, but you want to make sure and energy, but you want to make sure that if the results aren't reflective of the energy, you want to make sure that you make some changes along the way. And so I think one of the big things out of the review is just making some slight changes to how we defend the ground, and some structure changes just to try and support our players in their development and where they're at right now.
Yep. So that was probably my next question leading into there. The player losses force you to change your game style? Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, definitely. We've had to tighten up in how we defend, and I certainly like to see our running halfbacks get dangerous and utilise the ball, and I like to see a high forward come up. Unfortunately, we're not going to be blessed with the ability to do all the things that I want to do, and you just got to change with the cattle you've got and evolve, and that's what we're trying to do at the moment.
Have the challenges brought the group closer?
Yeah, that's one thing. Like with the culture and the atmosphere at training, they're not a loud group by any stretch of the imagination, but we're consistently getting 35 at training on Tuesdays and 45, 50 on Thursday. So the numbers are consistent. The numbers are good. The vibe is good. Everyone seems to be getting on this, and it seems to be quite good.
No worries. Just on periods like this, who's, like, obviously it's a low point from our market this season, being down the bottom there. Like, who wants to, you see on the committee and players that are really putting in the effort, to fight to get back up there?
Yeah, I think one thing we talk about in particular for the players, we talk about our baseline being our effort and prioritising making sure that that's at 100% for as long as possible. So we talk about playing minutes of the game and trying to play 100% of game time with maximum effort. And I feel like when I watch the vision back, I feel like our effort is...
I've watched you. Especially Harndorf, the effort was there. So.
Yeah. So I feel like it's reflective in that. But there's a few things that we need to work through. I don't think it's a quick fix. I don't think it's overnight, but you've just got to stay true to the process of making sure you do it right.
Yeah. Sort of game style. What sort of game style do you want to implement in Mount Barker? Obviously, it's a running half-back game. Obviously, a lot smaller targets up forward.
Yeah, so initially we were, and elements of still what we're trying to do is get some bounce off half-back, so rebound and run and use our leg speed, get a forward half game in particular once we get in the forward half, and then try and trap the opposition in their D50. Unfortunately, just with some of the players that we've lost, it's made it difficult.
Yeah.
So we have had to provide a little bit more support to our backs and playing +1 at some points, or not being able to play the high defenders, and we've probably gone to a locking defence rather than more a zone. And there's been some minor changes, but I think once we do continue to develop, I think we'll go back and make sure that we're looking to bounce off half-back, get the forward half game, defend from the front half, making sure that we've got team defence. But we make sure we prioritise when the opposition have got the ball, we make sure that we get at it, and we'll continue to make that a priority for us.
Any new ideas you brought to training, stuff like that, or initiatives to the club in general?
There's obviously, I think our training standards are probably something that I've tried to implement and make sure that they're at a decent level. We're tracking obviously kilometres and making sure that we're getting load limits, and the program's based off making sure that we sort of get to 25, 26 kilometres a week for the players, and we track that through player watches and GPS and stuff like that, which is good. I think early days in our pre-season, we had some high performance running programs for the players, which was good, held the players in good stead.
Very good. What role do the senior players play? I suppose probably out of the group is only Bennett's, I suppose.
So I think in our last game that we played, I think we had Daniel Bennett's 31 or 2, and then Marshall Howell 26. And then I think we had one other player that was older than 21. So essentially we played and that included a 16-year-old debutant in Webby. So we essentially had 17 or 18 players, 21 or younger, including 5 under 18s.
So supporters probably watching this. So what do the supporters want to see from the Mount Barker team every week? Effort, we make sure that the top of our board is making sure that it's evident that our effort's there. So effort is one thing, one skill set that actually doesn't take any talent. So your ability to chase, pressure, tackle, defend actually doesn't require you to be the most skillful player. So we just want to make sure that the players are going out there playing to the best of their ability, and we want to see them just improve each week. And there might not be team improvements that are evident, but I'm sure that there's individual improvements that we're seeing week on off. So we've just got to continue to get games into them, support them, making sure that they're getting comfortable at the level and understanding what's required. Have any of the younger players surprised you?
Definitely, for sure. Probably Jesse Filmer's been the biggest surprise factor for me. And I might have a biased opinion, but he's probably the best mid forward that I've seen in the competition. And he's 18 years old.
He's been in the best players every week. Every game.
Yeah, it's interesting because initially when you do the best players and you reward the players that you think, and then you watch the vision back, it sometimes reflects. But even when he has a quiet game where he only gets 15 times, he's number 1 for clearance, number 1 for inside 50s, and probably kicks our only goal. So, he's only 18. He's a super talented kid. Works really hard, physical, really impressive for an 18-year-old. And he's probably been the standout for me.
So how important is local talent junior development to your plans?
Really important. I think already we've seen 5 under 18s play A-grade footy. I think we've seen another 7 play reserves footy. So out of the 18s program this year, I think we've seen 13 players that have played, or 12 or 13 players play senior footy. I sort of have spoken a couple of times to the 18 group that train with us. They train with us regularly, the 18s. and just spoken about just be ready for your moment. You just don't know when that is, and continue to come out with attitude of being better each session. And they've been super, the under-18s. They put their hand up. I know that they want to play with their mates and the under-18s, and the last thing they probably want to do after they've played 4 quarters is back up and play reserves, or even players that are just playing A-grade footy. They probably want to play with their mates at some point. But they've been super. I really like the way that they've handled it. We've probably got 15 that regularly train with us, which is really good.
Yeah. Has there been any talk of, obviously, lots of players recruiting for next season to come in and support these youngsters? So has that been
about our recruiting?
Yeah, for next season.
So initially, when I took the job on, I spoke with the existing playing list, which incorporated the 10 players, 6 of which were in our top 10 of our BNF. I spoke to the players prior to them departing and mentioned that I had the ability to recruit some players, but they would be on the basis of trying to support what we already had. And I think it's been really evident from our players that have come in. They've been really influential. Sammy Kendall, Ollie Truss, Bradley Straps, like they've regularly been in our best players. So if we'd maintained all our players and got them guys, so I think our first priority when we look at our recruiting, which we're looking into right now, the first priority is to go to Mount Barker people. We want to try and get them guys back to our footy club. That's extremely important. But also we've got to look outside our own 4 walls and look to the broader community and sharpen up our list for sure.
Obviously, a start, down the bottom there. So, what's the expectations for the rest of the season? Just more game time for the kids. Yeah,
for me, it's not about win loss. I think if you've got a win loss, like right now, if win loss is on the agenda for us, I think we'll easily get sidetracked into making the wrong decisions and prioritising the wrong things. So, for me, it's about making sure that we get games into the kids, making sure that we're educating them. Our reviews are 30 minutes with vision every Tuesday, making sure that we're reviewing the games hard, making sure we're educating. The line coaches do a good job, and just continue to work hard.
Get into the competition here, HFL. Obviously, a first look at it this season. What are your thoughts on the competition up here?
Yeah, it's one thing I'll say is it's a nice footy league. I feel like there seems to be a really like a mutual respect amongst the teams. I feel like you go and watch some footy leagues and there can be some dirty stuff and it can be quite grubby, some of the footy leagues. But I feel like there's a really mutual respect between teams and I found that for our young kids to be able to come up and play A grade, it's been really good to see that side of it. Nice clean footy. Hard at times, but I really like that no one crosses the line. I think it makes it really nice and clean. It's good.
Yeah, it's been a good competition.
Very even as well.
Yeah, like very even at the moment.
Yeah, for me, probably the teams we've played though, I feel like Lobethal is probably the most impressive, and we rocked up to play them, and
Charlie Dixon.
Played that. We play. You look up forward, and we've got I think 4 of our players that are 18 and 19 in our defensive half, and you got Charlie Dixon, and you do a good job on him. He only kicks 3, but the other bloke kicks 11. It's pretty relentless.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's good.
So Lobethal set the benchmark. Harndorf. Traditional rival, I suppose. Mount Barker would have been brought into that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought Harndorf were good, but. It's interesting the oval when you go from different size ovals and until you see opposition play on the bigger ovals and the bigger decks and where finals are played, it's harder to sort of gauge that. Yep. But yeah, probably Lobethal and Harndorf have definitely been the 2 best sides we've played so far.
Speaking of big ovals, the Summit's a big oval.
Yeah, the Summit's a big oval.
Will Mount Barker look at playing there in the future?
Oh, I'd love to see us play some footy there. We've trained once. We've trained there once, and it's nice. I just feel like the pace of the footy movement is a lot quicker. You're not sort of running around in a paddock, so to speak. The grass is really really well cut, and it allows you to move the footy really well. I'm aware of the conditions can get quite windy, and it's not always perfect, but it's probably the best ground in South Australia. So it would be nice to. And it'd be great for our players to have that experience to play on a ground like that regularly.
Do you have a final message for the supporters?
Yeah, no, I think just for the Mount Barker faithful, it's just about hanging tough and continuing to support the club where you can. Get out and support both the men and women's programs, the junior programs, and continue to stand by them. But there's no shortcuts. It doesn't fix itself overnight. You've got to work hard. Number one is working hard and showing up. And you've just got to continue to prioritise getting games into the juniors. And we hope that some better days are just around the corner.
Well said. Just another one, cricket. You're a very good cricketer. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Obviously I played a fair bit of cricket and country cricket and some of that Florio stuff. So, it's been a while. I'm due a hit. So if you ever need someone, let me know. It'd be good to have a hit.
Yeah.
But I played. I think I played. I think it was for Wollonga in the A grade with Sean McIver and a group of guys that I actually got to Roxby Down. So I reckon that was my last game. But yeah, very fortunate. Played a bit of cricket with Alex Carey and a few others in the early days. Yeah, Travis Barr. Yeah, Travis Barr played a couple of premierships with T-Bar. So yeah, Mickey Taylor. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So no, it's good.
All right. Thanks for your time, mate. And good
Pleasure.
luck for the rest of the season. And
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and giving up your time. And we'll take a break and we'll come back to the next segment of the show.
You're back here on the mix, and wow, staking it up there. The hard questions were asked.
That's it. They were very well, and good luck to Mount Barker for the rest of the season, and to thanks for Brett Baldey for popping in for a good chat.
Yeah, that's good of him to come in, because obviously it's a difficult time for him, but hopefully some wins will come maybe this week.
That's it. Could beat off.
All right, another really good segment that we've in the mix here is what's in the mixing bowl this week. So we'll just delve into here, Stoker, if you want to see what's in there.
Yeah.
Something that mixing bowl matters. So you can
I'll lead off. So, Jeffrey, given other SNFL clubs promote games within their zone, should Sturt be encouraged to play a match here in Mount Barker utilising the summit?
Very good question, Stoker, because I notice West Adelaide go up to the Riverland, Berry, Loxton, wherever. Nord, your boys,
yep,
because it's part of their zone. They got when Port Adelaide folded, they got the Air Peninsula, so they play over in Port Lincoln. Also, South Adelaide tend to play down the Florio Peninsula there,
yes,
on a Sunday game. So why can that not be? That would be the ideal to hold it up here at the summit, because you'd have the local community football on the Saturday. Who knows? You could actually pick a select game for the Hills Football League and have it as the curtain raiser, and just make it a big gala day. So. And let's face it, Sturt, when you go through their teams, the amount of footballers they got down there for all the grades, this is their zone. Good way for them to promote. I know they've spent a lot of dough doing up Unley Oval, but this is their heartland up here, and it'd be fantastic to get them up here.
So with a game, who would you handpick to play that game? Would it be the Adelaide Crows? Just obviously if they're playing like a Norwood or someone like that.
No, I think it'd be a traditional, because Sandford is traditional. Crows not really part of it. They're just hangers on, because let's face it, they have mentioned that they go and play in the VFL.
So they want to
go. We're talking about the traditional Sandford heartland.
Yep.
So what about a Nord? That'd be great. I suppose traditional. I'd be the Eastern Derby. They're both from this side.
I definitely would say, give it a go. And
that'd be the logical ones, I think.
Does Trav Lynn, does he instigate it?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him.
Can he put it into the suggestion box?
This would be a good idea. I know they've actually used up here for a couple of trial games. The Sandford W sides played up here. The juniors have played up here, the Sturt. So I just think it'd be the next step. And as I said, promoting
the venue.
Promoting the venue, getting some use out of it. And also promoting your zone.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great idea, and incorporate it with some of the Hills clubs as well, and they have a big day of it. So,
I know they usually play the reserves before, but I think it'd be ideal if you pick a Hills Football League game to play.
Play in front of it. And you could probably have one after the match as well.
Well, could be,
as well.
So now we know the facilities have hosted AFL as far as the players and the venue. The surface is as good as the MCG, so they tell us. So there's no qualms about that.
Yep.
So balls in the court.
Will Sturt have
Sandford or Travis Lynn or Sturt Football Club?
Yeah, well, Sturt have played a trial game there
Yes.
as well. So there's they know the venue. So
yeah,
definitely. I think it should happen.
Good one out of the bowl. Right,
that's it.
Now, Stoker, you. Probably relates to we discussed earlier a bit about Test cricket. This franchise T20 cricket format causing a downturn in the standard of some Test cricket matches. Best players not available. Batters don't seem to be able to graft innings as they used to in the past because it's more suited around big hitting these days as the trend of cricket. So just your thoughts on that, having watched the Bangladesh and Pakistan series, which Sean Tate was involved in as a coach, and just the low scoring and there's no one there.
Yeah,
and you turn over to watch the IPL and it's packed and it's bang, bang, bang. So
obviously IPL, big business, BBL looking at going privatisation. So I think it will go that way, privatisation myself. So I think if they want to get the better players out to these competitions, they've got to try and offer more money. But I think the Cricket Australia have got to probably oversee it so clubs don't go overboard too with it and cause a club to fold, because that's probably the danger point on that. Someone buying it and then throwing all this cash around and buying people the next minute, relying on the people to go, bums on seats and no one's going. That turns into that. But just on the Test cricket, it's probably detracting. So, but the question for you, is it worth Test cricket going to Division 1, Division 2? Two pools.
What do you have? Promotion,
relegation.
And you'd have to base
over
it on
a 2-year
cycle?
period. Yeah, over a cycle, like incorporate the Test Championship.
I was going to say they brought that in recent years, haven't they? In the same sort of report system.
So do they do that?
Well, possibly.
Yeah. So then in the Division 2, you have the Test Championship as well.
What have we got? 8 Test playing nations at the moment. So you have the top 4. So there'd be a lot of tests where you'd be playing the same opposition, isn't there?
Yeah.
Pool.
But if you look at our ratings, I suppose, with Test matches out here, England's obviously ranked number 1. India, South Africa.
Well, West Indies used to be huge, but because of their full demise, that's
So is that a way of still keeping those clubs developing, and then they come up once they've relegated? Because you see, like in the Bangladesh tour, I think coming out to Australia, it'll be more a second 11 type side, or Australia A.
And they tend to play those matches up in
Darwin,
Cairns and Darwin.
So
imitation Test cricket.
So and they're not obviously popularised, and obviously it's giving some players on the fringe a go for us. So is it worthwhile going Div 1, Div 2, or Pool A, Pool B? But
as we find the mix, but a very question.
That's it. One for you.
Yep.
Why does Queensland v New South Wales State of Origin leave any AFL attempt to replicate it virtually unsuccessful next Wednesday at Sydney Olympic Park?
Yeah, well, that's the first game coming up of this year's series, and the build-up's been massive already. I think obviously what you're alluding to there is just the showtime experience of it and the build-up and promotion of it compared to the AFL, which really hasn't had State of Origin for a number of years now.
Yes.
I know they're in their idea is going to regenerate it.
Yep.
But when you look at Queensland and New South Wales, it's only 2 states that play, but I know they have a national comp with actually more teams involved than the AFL have at the moment in their comp, but they still find a pocket of weeks to play that State of Origin because it means so much.
Yeah.
Mid-season,
they play
midweek, and even some of the guys in a tough game compared to Aussie Rules, back up then some even on the Friday night or definitely the following weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So
the New South Wales team at the moment are in a training camp.
Yeah.
So their players aren't playing this weekend. So
yes, that's right. So they'll be fresh. Yeah.
So they'll be fresh. So, but AFL.
That's what they put into this. The concept of Origin is very important to the ARL or
NRL. Yeah.
Where club football seems to have taken over. And do they look at the thing saying, we don't need State of Origin in AFL because we've got interstate clubs. Well, they've got interstate clubs, of course, in NRL as well.
Yeah, they do.
So,
but not necessarily.
They just don't seem to have the passion or drive to want to do it. I think AFL, everyone would like to see it happen. And what we're going to play Western Australia on the cards.
Yeah, on the cards.
With the gather round deal. That's going to be made.
Nothing's been announced there either. So, look, it's a hard one. Doesn't matter.
Would you like to see that?
Oh, I like the state
Especially
games.
Probably one of us who went down to see SA play. That footy park.
It
was great.
Oh, they were packed out those
games.
And, they were fantastic. So, look, I get where you're coming from with the state concept at the moment. Like Eagles play Collingwood this week, so WA Vic or Collingwood, so you get that. But not all the players are from that state. So
no, exactly.
Exactly. I think they've got to find a way. The start of it was this year, obviously, the state game, but played in 40-degree heat. So
is there something with the Queensland, New South Wales in their code that you can actually then, if you perform well, you can represent the country? Pick for the Kangaroos, rugby league.
Not sure.
I'm just saying, with Aussie rules, you can't.
Well, they have the All-Australian team, don't they?
They play for the Galahs back in the day.
We're
going to play the Irish. So we bring that back.
Well, they've been talking about it, but
again, misses a bit of biffo, doesn't it?
Gary McIntosh says away, I suppose. So, but they're probably frowned upon these days having that sort of contact. But great point there.
It'd be interesting. I just think they do it so well.
Yeah.
And no doubt we'll all sit down and watch
they
them.
They do. I'm sure. It's always a highly rated game.
Converts, but we enjoy watching that because why
they do it. They do it very well.
Now, finally in the mixing bowl for this week, this could be interesting, Stoker.
Yeah.
How long before the AFL adopts the badge of AFL-M to fit in with the AFL-W category, thus differentiate between the genders, although they both use the AFL tag when suitable, e.g. the AFL Hall of Fame, you look and there's Erin Phillips and Daisy Pearce in it, not AFLW, so it's all under one thing there, but can you see in this politically correct world that we have in that AFL-M designating males come in?
I would.
So the question is, why do we have AFLW if in the Hall of Fame it's all AFL?
Yes, I agree with that, but because it's AFL Hall of Fame, so those girls are classed with the...
But they don't play AFL.
Yeah, they don't.
They play AFLW. That's the point this question's getting at.
Maybe that's a Dylan question, I suppose.
Well, we'll have to get him on.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you there, but I do see your point.
It is interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Well, does it... You have HFLW, does it go HFLM?
Well, maybe we can ask our man Trav that as well.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, what do they have?
That's just falling in line after the AFLW as a governing body.
So what's SNFL have?
W on
W, so will they have M on the end of it as well?
Well,
so,
it's a can of worms you've opened up there.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just a thought, and
just
it's politically correct.
Well, someone might.
You can't have it one way and not the other.
Yeah,
so to speak.
We'll watch this space over a period of time, I suppose, so see where that goes. But at the moment, I have not the right answer for you, or it's a hard one. All right.
Does it annoy you when you watch the coverage and it's got the commentators and Dunstall 4 times goal kicker, or Dermot Brereton 5-time day night, and it's got someone AFL W end of the year, and you well,
I haven't really thought of it that way till you have pointed it out now. So, it'd be interesting.
They're totally different games.
Yeah, they are. It's a totally different.
Unfortunately, even though the AFL might think that's similar.
We'll see. Good one for discussion.
Well, as we said, the mixing bowls always throws up those interesting matters.
Send in your comments.
We will.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's just about wraps up another edition. We've covered a fair bit today, so I trust you've enjoyed it. So, Stacey, and thanks for bringing some of your toys in, mate.
That's it. So, good luck to Pendles this week.
Yeah, and good luck to everyone, whatever sport you're playing, and we'll mix it with the best here on the mix. So, Jeff Pistola,
Mark Stokes. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Catch you next time.
Too easy.